views is social media is normalizing the respectful behaviors. I will now proceed with several questions regarding these issues. The first questions are: do you agree or disagree with the statement that social media is normalizing the respectful behaviors? Please share your initial thoughts on these situations.
All right, thank you. Whether I agree or not, to some extent, yes, I do agree that social media is normalizing disrespectful behavior to some extent. Because on negative side, social media it makes people it makes easier for us or the netizens that we call to be rude to others because we are hiding behind the screens, right? So it's more easier to leave some hateful comments, to mock others, or to say some negative stuff because we don't really tend to think about the consequences of what we our actions currently, and also but yeah, to some extent because in positive side, social media is only a tool. So if we use it correctly, then we get the benefits of it. If we use it wrongly, then we get the bad side of it. Yeah.
All right, thank you for your perspective. Moving on to the next questions. Can you share a specific example or personal experience where you witnessed the respectful behaviors being widely accepted or praised, such as receiving many likes, comments, or shares on platforms like TikTok or ads or etc.?
I would say to make it easier to for us to relate, we can see back on the issue where there is a hiker, a female hiker that went lost. If you guys know, like 1 or 2 months ago, and during the case, there are so many speculations. There are a lot. There are several sides to these cases. Some of them are saying that this female hiker are the one to is the one to blame. She went to move to the route by herself, and but some other side are saying that it is not her fault. And then these rumors keep on spreading for like I don't know, maybe for as long as this case went on. But um, until when the case is solved, we found the lost hiker. Only then we know that she is not the one to blame. She also has her own justifications. But during the cases, people keep on saying that it's her fault. She never listened to the guiders, and she always went by herself and don't really listen to the advice of people. Yeah, you know those stuff. And for sure that there are her family members that read all these hateful or spiteful comments. But in the end, we know that it's not totally her fault. And I think that's affected the victim's family badly. Lah.
All right, thank you, Sir Akil. That's a very interesting observation. Let's continue with the next question. In your opinion, how does exposure to toxic or disrespectful online trends affect the real life behavior and moral values of teenagers and children today?
Sorry, again, can we
Hello?
repeat the question?
Am I lagging?
No, no. It's okay. You can
All
just
right.
I don't really
I will.
listen actually.
All right. I will repeat this question again. In your opinion, how does exposure to toxic or disrespectful online trends affect the real life behavior and moral values of teenagers and children today?
Hmm. Let me think about. Sorry, a minute.
All right. Sure.
Sorry, the real life affects on the one who uh, have the toxic behaviors or the one who get affected by it.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
No, sorry. My question is that you want to know my opinion on the toxic behaviors leads to real life consequences, right?
Yeah. For
So,
specifically for teenagers and children, how the respectful
mm,
online trends can affect them.
I think uh, you guys are Generation Alpha, right? I think you guys can more relate to this more than me because as you can see that the way that we talk now is I know it started as a joke, but uh, slowly we trying to adapt what's the US culture in dissing people. And you know, on our context, there are just random comments like saying the N word in random postings without having anything related to that. So uh, those has become a norm in our youngsters, and I think that's yeah, they of course gonna affect how they talk or how they think in real life.
All right. Thank you for that insight. Now let's discuss the role of social media platform themselves. Okay. For the fourth question, do you think social media companies are doing enough to curb online disrespect, or are their algorithms actually promoting drama and negative behaviors to gain views and engagement?
Hmm. Social media company. I think although that as we know, people, social media platforms have introduced various features such as reporting abusive content and also enable us to block the users if we want. And also sometimes, if you guys notice, there are some AI tools that to detect harmful comment. So if there were no reports pun, the company can flag the comments or the messages as disrespectful or cyberbullying. But I think they can do more as we know that currently we are progressing a lot in AI, right? So I think it's easier for them to have a tools to uh, to detect more of this content and block it before those posts can be posted, can be uploaded. So yeah.
All right, thank you for sharing your opinion. Let's look ahead to the potential future consequences. All right. So some people argue that what others call respectful behavior is merely freedom of expression, dark humor or satire. What your thoughts on this perspective?
Uh, yeah, I do believe that honestly, as my personal thing, I do believe that dark humor, satire, also a form of freedom of expressions. But because we can use, as you can see, if you guys know Fahmi Reza, our
Mm,
satire for political stuff. I think he used the satire or dark humor in the right way to condemn our corruptions or the wrongdoers of our politics. But this freedom also should become with responsibility. If the joke is to target someone's races or religion, I think that is more leaning to the bad sides. Lah. For example, we can see that when we have issues on the queer haram, right? Instead of debating on the issues, we there are a lot of netizens that comments on the Indian races instead, and what are their normal behaviors, and they start to standardize. Oh, Indians usually do this. Indians usually do that. Instead of actually debating on the queer haram stuff. So I think, yeah, that's where it's also a freedom of expression and thoughts, but it should come with responsibility.
all right, thank you for the next question. What do you think will happen to our societies, interpersonal relationship, and cultural values in the near future if this trend of online respect continues unchecked?
Okay, my personal take on this would be I believe that this already happened to the developed country. Uh, as you can see on US and UK, right? You can see that the youngsters uh, they already went this development phase. Or currently, we know that Malaysia is a development country, a developing country. They already went through that phase. They are now what we call as a already developed country. So we can see that now. I would say their youngsters are more have toxic or negative traits more than us. And I think if we are not addressing this quickly, uh, soon or later we're gonna become like them. But I also want to note here that I think our government is already seeing how critical this issue is. As we know that now we are trying to implement the rules where the social media is only for the children under 16, if I'm not mistaken. 16 is the age. So I think the government also has seen this trend has becoming more critical and they are doing something about it. So I think, yeah, if we don't address it more carefully from now on, we're gonna become like all those so-called already developed countries.
All right, thank you, Zakil. Finally, I would like to ask one last question. In your opinion, what is the most effective way for parents, educators, and or maybe the government to prevent the respectful online behavior from becoming the new norm in our community?
Okay. Again, sorry, government, parents, and
And educators.
educators. Okay. Okay. As we as I said earlier, the government already have their initiative. Uh, yeah, I don't know if that's already an initiative or not, but that's something. For educators and the parents, I think they have the same job scope. They have to keep on teach the children or see how is it, what's the word? Observe their behaviors. I would say observe their behaviors, observe their words of choice to see if they are leaning towards authorship behaviors and see where that comes from. Maybe from friends, maybe from schoolmates or stuff, but for sure social media have if, some effect, also some responsibility. So parents should observe more so the, watch closely lah what's the contents for the children, because as we can know, as we know now that there are age restrictions, right, in our phones to set some contents, to restrict some contents. Yeah. So let's say if it will be our parents, and then we set the age restricted contents on our children's kid, that somehow can help them to prevent them from being exposed to toxic stuff. But also, it, we cannot totally avoid that by just using tools in our phone. And the parents should just monitor more closely and talk about it lah with their children. Say say to them what's wrong, what's right, what's not to do.